Hello, everybody, and welcome to the final week of the regular season here at the Aegis Marauders League. My name is Moose, and I'm joined today by Banana Bread, going to be filling in for Septi for tonight's series. Banana, how you doing today?
It's a great day. It's a stupendous day as we're in the last week of AML here. We already have pretty much most of the top 4 seeds locked in except for Ionia and Ixtal. But otherwise, it's no matter what, it's still going to be great games. We have some pretty high tier teams looking to duke it out on the Rift for the last time of this regular season here.
Yeah, and like you said, most of the teams are either qualified or knocked out of the AML. We are going to the Streamer Division here for this final week of regular season play. DZG Styx going to go up against Iridescent Dawn Blasters. Now, DZG has already confirmed their spot in the playoffs. There's no way that they are going to be able to catch up to Mario Kart 7, who's going to have that first seed. However, for Iridescent Dawn Blasters, this is a must-win game for them. They are tied with Contingent Esports Blue coming into today's matches, and if they are able to take this win, they have the chance to potentially make playoffs depending on how that game plays out. So for Iridescent Dawn, this is a must-win game for them. Eyes are going to be on them to see if they have what it takes to make it to the postseason. So we're going to go ahead and get started here with the draft in just a moment. While we have you here, Banana, what has your opinion been of Season 14 so far? What have you liked? And what have you enjoyed watching as a spectator?
So far, I mean, this split, it's definitely interesting because we've done away with Mythics. So obviously we have more fluidity in builds, but it's still kind of the same problem they had before with the Mythics, where like you'll have like certain items that are a lot stronger than others. Like at the beginning, we had like everybody rushing Lich, like AP mages, assassins rushing Lichbane and Storm Surge, and then you have bruisers, everybody just building Sundered Sky. So it's kind of like the same problem where you have to kind of balance everything around so you have a good mix of builds, but mostly it's kind of the same thing where it's just you have everybody building the exact same thing, and there's like certain balancing things that do need to happen. Like we see Karma everywhere with the Malignance build. You see it everywhere in 3 different lanes, but otherwise, I mean, it's not too bad. They all definitely nerfed a bunch of items from before and they took away and moved it somewhere else. So like we lost I forgot the Sundered item, but it was the
Divine Sunder.
Yeah, we lost Divine Sunder, and we kind of pushed that power a little bit more into Sundered Sky. But again, it's like we push a lot of this power somewhere else, but it's the same problem we did have in Season 13 previously.
Fair enough. And I mean, like, I think that that's been kind of the general consensus of a lot of the, the casters that have come in throughout the couple of different leagues that I've casted. They've all said, it's fun to see potential build paths be available because mythics have not been completed. But for most players and for most champions, the core item that you're going to get is going to be the same. But let's go ahead and jump into this draft. Iridescent Dawn going to be over on the blue side, going to be serving first here in this draft. Going to take away the Lee Sin, and a bit of a targeted ban in the jungle has not been the most prevalent here in the AML, but Styx having used it in a couple of their previous weeks of play. The Rel, on the other hand, seen in almost every series, it feels like, here on the AML, going to get banned away against Iridescent Dawn.
Lee Sin is definitely understandable. Like Cuz is like, it's like he's LCK counterpart. Like he plays like a ton of Lee Sin. Like if you put Lee Sin's one of those very high skill cap champions where if you master that champion, it's very hard to play against. And then we're kind of seeing more of like those meta picks being banned away. Rel got nerfed a little bit with that bug fix to her key where it can't break shields on monsters. And then you have the Udyr, the Senna, and the Maokai, all very staple picks within this meta. Senna, you can play it any way you want and flex it into different roles. But most of the picks we're seeing are very staple picks that have been prevalent throughout Season 14, and we see that Karma ban. So right now, Virus is still up, Smolder is still up, and so we're going to see that one taken away immediately. And Smolder is just such a big pick. If you hit like a roughly 10 stacks a minute, and you would reach around 225 around 20 minutes ideally, and then we're going to see that Gragas locked in, which is a very strong triple flex or quadruple flex into the top mid jungle and support role.
Yeah, I appreciate the handshake that both teams went for with the Maokai and the Karma bans. Could have been a very interesting game how we decided to go a little bit more targeted, but instead wanting to take some of those high priority picks, some of those flexible options away from both teams. But Smolder, like you said, still going to be available, still the automatic B1 pick for a lot of teams, and especially here in the Masters level. Hwei still on the table as Gragas and Kai'Sa have been picked up, could still potentially be filled in with the Smolder. It's something that I've been seeing somewhat consistently here since Smolder has been allowed to be available, and we'll see if that is going to end up being the case. Xin Zhao is hovered and will be taken, so maybe looking to get a little bit more engaged, maybe looking to get a little bit of movement and an accelerated lane state for Smolder on the bottom side of the rift, as the Nico going to probably be going into the mid lane here.
Already, we're seeing Iridescent Dawn. They're drafting a pretty strong team fight composition to kind of help either facilitate the Smolder more in team fights or look to peel him more, because you do have the Xin Zhao ult, you have the Nico ult. It's very hard to dive into those things with the Kai'Sa, Gragas, and it looks like the Viego hover. So it's a team that's more facilitating to kind of keep this Smolder alive while also playing skirmish heavy topside while this Smolder does scale. So overall, I mean, I like this draft because like the biggest thing with Season 14 is that flex picks are very high priority. That's why you see a lot of Maokai bans, Senna bans, and Karma bans. You can flex those into 2 or 3 different roles, which would give a lot of options and lots of flexibility in the draft of what you want to do, as we see Alawi ban. So that's definitely very targeted.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, we did get to see some Alawi earlier in the season for the 5 days that she was viable, but it is still something that Iridescent Dawn has picked up, especially on the top side of the rift, as you had been alluding to. So not going to be available, but we are going to be seeing a lot of top lane bans getting taken away as the Aatrox, I mean, a staple here of Season 14, going to get banned away, as well as the Aurelia Kale. So some of these targeted picks here on the top side of the rift. So very curious to see what this 4th pick is going to be. I'm predicting that we're going to be seeing an R5 response in top side, but we'll see if they do decide want to just go for the blind pick here and then wait to see what the support pick is going to be for Iridescent Dawn. But you're putting in so much effort to make sure that the top side gets a response, and it looks to still be up in the air with the Hwei getting locked in R4.
Yeah, Dreadzone, they are playing very like 500 IQ here, because the top laner, the mid laner, and the support play some Gragas, or not the support, but the actually maybe he does, but like you can still flex it within those 3 roles. So right now you have a lot of options. Hwei is also very flexible. You can put him in the support role or mid lane. So again, like this is what I was alluding to before, that flex picks are the bread and butter of this split, and we're going to see Nautilus and Fior being locked in here. So that's definitely the counter pick into most tank matchups, because Sante is still open, but it is a little bit rough, especially with those recent nerfs that did come through and like the kind of like hot fix for his kit. So curious to see what Dreadzone will lock in here last with this information.
Yeah, I mean, I like Nautilus. I like Nautilus paired with Smolder. You get a little bit of protection for them to be able to then scale up. You can also roam it around. The only concern that I have, if you do decide to have the Nautilus potentially roam into the mid lane, where it is very possible that a gank is successful and you are able to pick up a mid lane kill or be there for assistance for the Void Grubs, my concern is that Smolder is just going to be dove or is going to be put in a really bad lane state and is going to be forced into a disadvantageous situation. If that happens, the amount of time that it takes for that to unlock and for you to be able to get that 225 stacks is what you're looking for Dreamo is going to be that much longer. So Iridescent Dawn are going to have to play a pretty solid macro game in the early game in order to make sure that that is the case. Dreadzone Gaming going to pick up the Thresh as the final choice here. Now, with the Thresh going in, we know that it's going to be Thresh Kai'Sa bottom side. We know that it's going to be the Hui in the mid lane. Is there any possibility that the Viego goes top side and Gragas goes into the jungle?
Ooh, that would be very spicy. It's kind of weird because Viego is very good in an isolated 1v1 just because of the amount of max health damage that he brings to a fight. But like Gragas into Fiora, like you can't really do anything in that lane. That's a very handshake lane where it's like, yeah, Fiora's gonna poke you, but then Gragas just out sustains with his passive because in recent patches earlier this season, they buffed Gragas like a lot with lowering the his passive timer, and then his abilities always kind of being on a really low cooldown, so you constantly have that circulation of health coming through. So that top lane is definitely going to be an island. It's kind of going to be just handshake this, handshake that, and then just power farm until those big team fights, or just Fiora's just going to split the entire game away. But like in my opinion, I think the Thresh is a little weird. This is coming from a Thresh, like a Masters Thresh main. Like I love Thresh, but in this comp it's a little weird because because it looks like here Tanzo, he does not play that much Gragas, but the most popular thing is you kind of go like the pseudo bruisery Gragas. So yeah, he goes like AP, so he goes like Rada, Aegis, Lich Bane, stuff like that. So like you kind of you're like a chunky AP. But with the only thing that Dreadzone really lack is that big front line in that yeah, they just lack that big front line and that primary engage for the team. So it's like if anybody gets caught, they're kind of in a bit of a pickle. But they have really good front to back if they are allowed to facilitate it that way. They don't get jumped on immediately by Iridescent.
Sure. And so when I look at this, I guess the way that I see the Thresh being useful here is not to facilitate Kai'Sa, because Kai'Sa is going to be able to do what Kai'Sa does, going to be able to get to the backline, going to be able to be destructive and disruptive by destroying the health bars of the backline. But I think that Dark Passage and the Death Sentence from Thresh, in order to keep Hui alive here, is probably going to be the better angle. Like if the Dredge line or the Depth Charge happens on the Hui, or if the Audacious Charge comes through, Hui's going to be able to use that Dark Passage to potentially get back into safety, so that then they can be that really long range magic artillery that you're going to need. And when I look at what the usefulness of that Thresh is, that's where I see it. That's where I would like to see happen, is make sure that this Hui is protected to be able to drop off that massive damage and then be able to win these team fights that you're looking to go for here when you draft a composition like this. But with that being said, we're going to jump into a bit of a mini game that we play here at the AML. It's the Dragon Draft. We're going to go ahead and each one of us is going to pick 3 dragons. You'll start with 1, I'll pick 2, and then you'll pick 2, and I'll pick 1. And we'll see which one of us predicted the correct dragon soul and rift here for this game. So with that being said, Banana, I'll have you start.
No, I'll go with Cloud Soul. I'll take Cloud first.
Cloud. Okay. Cloud enjoyer. Appreciate it. Love it. Love it. You know, there might have been an Infernal Soul yesterday, chat. Let me know if there was last week. I was not here for some other things that happened, but I still think that we're bound to see an Infernal Soul on stream here soon, and I'm gonna go with Infernal. I'm gonna go with Ocean.
Ooh, Infernal Ocean, huh? That leaves me with what? Chemtech, Ocean, or no? You said Ocean.
Yep. Chemtech, Hextech, and Mountain.
Mountain, huh? I'll do Chem and Mountain.
Okay, that's gonna leave me with the Hextech Soul. Folks, it has been a phenomenal regular season here for the Aegis Marauders League, but we are not done yet. 4 weeks remain after this one for the round of 16 playoff, and there is a lot of money at stake. Prize pool for first place going to be $2,060. Second place gets $900. And if you guys want to potentially get your piece of the pie for the next season, summer 2024 is going to be on their way faster than you can blink. So definitely stay updated with all of what's going on in Aegis Esports by joining the Discord and following the Twitch so that you can sign up with your teams and find a way into the AML next season. With that being said, though, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, game number 1 of this final series in the regular season will commence. We'll see you guys soon. Welcome back, everybody, here to the Aegis Marauders League. The final week of the regular season, but not the final week that we get to shout out Coachify. Aegis Esports League of Legends is sponsored by Coachify.gg for our Winter 2024 split. Coachify GG provides tools for esports coaches to manage their teams and players while also finding new students. Click the panel below located the stream to check their website for more information. And with that being said, we've got a potential death brush for both sides. Unfortunately, it's on opposite sides of the rift.
You always hate to see those shenanigans kind of go awry a little bit, but obviously both teams, they are looking to kind of be a little bit cheesy. It is a slightly less serious game, but it is still, you know, a game of League of Legends nonetheless, because obviously there's a lot of theory crafting around. If this loses and that wins, you know, bada bing, bada boom, they make playoffs. So it's very complicated. I don't think anybody wants to hear that spiel. But otherwise, I mean, both these teams are going to handshake a little bit, get a little bit of division, and they're going to start on their opposing red sides here.
Yeah, and I'm interested to see. I guess not interested to see, but I'm respecting the fact that Dreamo decides to go with the cleanse here. Still having a lot of CC available from Raging, from Q, and from Fail to potentially cleanse is going to be impactful, but not having that ghost could potentially be a deal breaker or a difference maker as we move into the later stages of the game. We'll see if that ends up potentially being the case or not. But for now, I think all eyes are going to be on these Hook champs. It's going to be on Yang and it's going to be on Fails to see which one of them is potentially able to get one of those hooks and start getting some action here on the bottom side of the rift. A symmetrical jungle clear with both junglers going to go for their red buffs means that it's going to be a little bit of jungle priority on the bottom side of the rift for Dreadzone Gaming.
Yeah, they already spotted Cuz out on that early ward, so they're going to have a vague idea, because you can see in the bot lane already, Rapid Fire and Fails, they are setting up that bot lane to kind of crash back. They can't the side of Iridescent, they can't really do too much, because just the caveat, because the Smolder is relatively weak early, so can't really do too much about that. So they're going to try to get that bounce back and catch the gank on the way back, because that is going to be a very chunky wave. So it is very possible they're going to stay. They could look for that prio, grab that bot lane. Oh, that hook hit. Okay, then. That is very weird as a big chunk comes through. But already, I mean, you're kind of seeing how the lane, you expect the lanes to go. Like, bot lane is going to have priority, top lane's kind of handshaking. You already see Greg is winning out in those trades. But a game like this, you want to try to put that Smolder down, try to get that set up with the Lantern, the Thresh, the hooks, on top of either one of them. Just try to get something for this Kai'Sa, because poke Kai'Sa has been the big thing here. As top lane, it's going to be a bit of a trading back and forth. It's going to be the gank coming in.
Yeah, Ryzel trying to come in, has the red buff for the slow, did not get their blue, as B-Way is in trouble, gonna have to walk away from the gank, not able to get more damage in, showing on the bottom side, going to allow for Cuz to have an opportunity to go for a play themselves, and the play is going to be for double scuttle here, Banana. They, instead of going for a gank bottom side, they will look to get double scuttle crab, and indeed, they're gonna get it.
Ooh, sir. He knows he's on this blue buff because of that gank top. He doesn't have smite. He's going to get jumped on.
Oh boy, but the W not going to be allowed. Great flash from Cuz. Going to make it a flash for flash situation. Cuz just about to have their smite back up. Ryzel does not. And Cuz will be able to clean that up. But the root from TV is going to put Cuz into a bad situation. First blood is going to go to B-Way Bennett there on the top side of the rift for Iridescent Dawn.
That was such a good idea from Cuz to look for that fight, because he knows that Sir Ryzel is going to be there. He doesn't have flash. He just ganked top, and he only did 3 camps. But it's because his top lane reset and his mid laner isn't very strong early and didn't get a move that punishes the aggression from Cuz without the flash trying to go for the kill.
Yeah, and that's going to be an extra 450 in Iridescent Dawn's top laner's pocket. Because they had already used that teleport, though, B-Way does not have the extra items that are coming in with it yet. And, you know, with that call, not necessarily going to be the heaviest damage dealer, but has that blue buff, maybe is able to push the wave out and go for a play in just a little bit. But for now, It's B-Way potentially going to get ganked here by Cuz. Will be able to get back under tower and will nicely parry any sort of CC coming in from Tanzo.
You're gonna see Cuz doing these the grubbies here, but he is gonna get caught on. He does grab one, and he is gonna have to get out here.
All right. And now Cuz looking to come in, going to be dealt a lot of damage. Nice body slam from Tanzo, followed up by Raging Alcoholic to make it a 1-for-1. But Tanzo now at 1 HP. Going to be B-Way Bennett going down. Rizal's going to go down. It's a double kill for General Ziliana, and not able to get the Pop Blossom. A great fear from Raging Alcoholic. It's going to be even there as we get a bottom lane play. A lot of damage onto from Rapid Fire as they're able to take out Yarg. And overall, it's going to be a 2-for-3 play in favor of Dreadzone Gaming.
Wow, it's just a lot of fighting. I mean, look at the jungle CS league right now. It is 20, Cuz is 20 CS above Sir Rizal. But like overall, looking at the gold, it's very marginal. As you see, like General Ziliana. I'm just gonna call him General. General, like he is really roaming very well for these fights bot lane. It's kind of a gift because you saw Smolder, he didn't have any mana. He's very mana hungry. Cuz coming in, he's gonna grab that grub, so that's gonna be 3-0 here as there comes the roam.
Cuz should be able to get out. Yeah, we're good.
Yeah, that was a nice sidestep though. Obviously very predictable here as we see General. He's getting chunked out very hard mid here. As did have that flash, so did Raging Alcoholic, so nothing comes out to do that. But overall, I mean, it's still a net lead for Dreadzone just because they got those 3 grubs. It's only 300. It's a little marginal, but like overall, I mean, just looking at the objective score, those 3 grubs will definitely be worth it in the end as they are kind of looking for that 3-man play in the top side.
Yeah, and parry has already been used as well. B-Way does not know that this is happening. The grand challenge will commence. Can they get the final proc on it? They will not, as Feliz is able to get the death sentence, and Cuz will take the 4th kill of the game for Dreadzone Gaming.
Very nice play there. A little bit of a wonky ward, putting it in that tri-brush, thinking that the support's not going to roam. Probably not communicated very properly. So Rizal is going to get spotted on that bot lane tri-bush ward, so that means Rapid Fire is able to just kind of walk on out here. Going to lose a couple plates, but it's not going to be too bad as the rest of his team is coming. Drake is still up. It is a Hex Tech, so surprising that none of these teams really want to go for that, as the hook does miss, as the hook also does, the hook also misses. But otherwise, it means both teams kind of handshaking a little bit. Lots of power going into the top side, as I talked about before, and they're kind of slowing down. They're not doing too much in that bot side, kind of landing whatever they can. But here comes Cuz coming in for this.
Yeah, Yar going to go for the depth charge, but does not have, or Dredgeline, but does not have depth charge, and will end up being taken out by Cuz, who will use the Blade of the Shattered King, or Ruin King, to pick up their 2nd of the game. And with Yarg dead, there is no response for Iridescent Dawn to go for this Hex Tech Drake. It will get picked up so fast, as, I mean, Rapid Fire still very easily dealing so much damage on this Kaisa. Cuz will pick that up.
It looks like Rapid Fire is just going for that on-hit AD build. Still very strong. That's a great thing about Kaisa. You can just kind of build whatever the hell you want. It's just going to be great no matter what here. But I mean, overall, it's a 1k gold lead. Very nice gold lead here, as that's a very nice hook there on that vision.
Wow, and Rapid Fire does have Killer Instinct to finish the job, but Ignite will do it. Rapid Fire will pick up their 2nd kill of the game, and Yarg goes back to base after just respawning.
Yeah, that's definitely a bit of a questionable play there. I mean, you have a Smolder. He does not do as much as a 1-0-1 Kaisa with her Noon Quiver, and especially not having track of any vision around that bot side. So a very nice ward there, but unfortunately not being swept out, as we see a nice trade top lane.
All right. Oh my God, B-Way Bennett. It just feels like they are always at half health, always in a rough spot. I mean, you get that call before you're first to teleport, and you've only been able to get 40 CS since then, and you're getting out CS'd by Tanzo. It's got to be a rough situation to be in. just all lanes for Iridescent Dawn. And this is the power of Dread Zone Gaming. I mean, they are the second seeded team in the Surima division. They had to go up against Mario Kart 7, who is arguably the favorite to win this whole tournament. And they're really showing why they are so powerful here. They've got just a 1,500 gold lead, but it already feels like they're accelerated the game so fast.
It's like every play that Iridescent try to look for, it always gets foiled by the vision that they're kind of putting out, as Cuz is going to get clapped upon, flash forward.
All right, Dredgeline not going to land, going to be getting a nice Pop Blossom on to Cuz, who's going to be hit by the Grand Challenge. Grand Challenge will commence, and it's going to be a lot of damage, but Cuz able to survive with the Dark Passage from Feliz. The box is going to land from Yarg. That's going to be the Spiraling Despair on Yarg as well, and Yarg will finally go down to Tonzo, who's going to be able to flash away, but it's a 1-for-1 with both supports dead. Raging Alcoholic going to try to come in as one of the Void Grubs will go over to Rizel on the Xin Zhao, but they are not confident to continue to keep this going. Rapid Fire going to be seen on Control Ward. 2 Void Grubs remain, and Dread Zone Gaming, man, what a save by Feliz on that Thresh.
Yeah, Fails definitely doing God's work there, getting his jungler out, denying that big shutdown over to the Fiora, because it was a little bit questionable that you would parry instead of just continuing to auto, because that little split second that you use to proc the mark there is mid lane.
Oh no, Raging Alcoholic gonna be caught out of position. That'll be a killing spree for General here, and that's a 3-0 into Nico. But we got to play top side. B-Way Bennett gonna look to go for a kill against Tonzo with Rizel, gonna go in with the flash. That might do it, and it will do it. Shut down here for Rizel on the Xin Zhao, as Cuz looking to go for a play here onto B-Way Bennett, or Rizel unable to do it, and B-Way Bennett will get shut down, will get the shutdown against Cuz, but it'll be a 1-for-2 play. Meanwhile, on the bottom side of the rift, Feliz and Rapid Fire looking to keep this game bloody. Feliz trying to be able to keep Yarg alive, and might be able to do so. What a death sentence! Oh my god! Feliz is just carrying the bottom side of the rift this game.
As a Thresh main, that hook, that was the most BS hook I've ever seen. Like, I don't know how that landed, but like, there's so much fighting across the map now. Like, the gold lead is dead even, and so it's gonna be 2-4 in Grub. So Cuz gonna grab that one. So like, it's still not too bad. It's still just a slight lead in a Dread Zone's favor, just because they did grab that those couple grubs before, and they had that early Drake. So next Drake is going to be popping up soon. It's going to be an Infernal Drake, so that means it's either going to be a Mountain, Cloud, Chemtech, or Ocean. So that means one of our bets are still alive in this game. But oh, look at the vision in that bot side. Like, it is littered with wards. It is literally a minefield. You can't walk anywhere without getting popped and spotted here in that bot side.
Yeah, and I mean, I have to really applaud Dread Zone Gaming for making that happen. Yarg, what are you doing? Not seeing that they were on vision? Oh no. Oh boy, that's rough. General Zayama gonna be there as well. Yarg, do you see it? There it is. Yay, there you go, Yarg. But anyway, we're gonna get back to the Dragon. Potentially going to be an option here for Dread Zone Gaming. It's 3-0-2 for General Ziliana. It's 3-0-1 for Rapid Fire, and very similar points in their builds right now, with the Rapid Fire, or Cannon, or not the Rapid Fire, the Kraken Slayer completed for Rapid Fire, and then the Rocket Belt completed for General Ziliana. We'll see who's going to have the better effective ult here, as the Dragon's going to go down to 1 HP, and it will be taken by Cuz. Mama's going to drop a lot of damage on Feliz and Cuz, as General Ziliana's going to be able to get one, will be on a rampage. Rapid Fire going to be 1 HP, going to be able to get over to Dreamo, and Dreamo is going to go down, and Raging Alcoholic will take out the Sir Rizel, who ends up getting a killing spree. But at the end of the day, Dread Zone Gaming going to get some good kills on the board.
It was a little bit of a questionable contest, just because like you kind of go in like really late, so you don't really have that posture for the rest of your team. So it's kind of like Thresh just throws a hook and then, you know, bada bing, bada boom, you get picked off one by one. Like they do get that kill onto Cuz, and they get the 2 for 2, but they do lose that Drake. So it's overall, it's not like super worth it. But overall, I mean, it's still a slow game. Like if we look at the Smolder and General Xylana, gonna get it chunked out a little bit. This hook, he's coming for this. Pop Blossom.
Oh my god, great Pop Blossom from General Xylana as Raging Alcoholic will go down, but it might be for their own life, and a shutdown against the Iridescent on mid laner. Feliz going to try to go in for the Dark Passage so that they can get this kill onto General Xylana. They get it! Nice dash from Cuz to be able to pick that one up, but Feliz going to try to get away with 1 HP and does get away thanks to the flash. Now you're going to be forced to flash away. Another great death sentence by Feliz. Oh my god, I cannot believe what Feliz is doing on Thresh. A highlight game for him here against Iridescent Dawn.
Yeah, Fails is definitely clutching up with these hooks and all these roams here, as we're kind of looking at both these teams. Again, it's kind of like both these teams are kind of just going 1 for 1. Who got that shutdown on Nico? It was Viego got that shutdown. So that is a very big influx of gold here. Looking at Smolder, he is at 95 stacks, so a little bit behind the curve. This isn't really a lane that you can get stacks very easily in, so it is a little understandable. But right now, I mean, it's pretty much almost dead even. Like the leads are very marginal. It's more like it's just a couple like small mistakes leading to these objectives that are really killing Iridescent.
And now we get Dread Zone Gaming up by only 1,000 gold, but the name of the game has always just been like they're at right place, right time. It feels like they're activated, and it's the power of the 1,400 gold advantage that Rapid Fire has been able to accumulate. That's going to be almost 2 items completed for them as they're looking to go for another play here against Feliz. Sir Rizel can't even go for their blue buff, going to get stunned and will end up going for a nice Crescent Guard. But it's not going to be enough, and Cuz will be on a killing streak, able to pick one up. Meanwhile, on the bottom side of the rift, General Xylana is going to be able to get a shutdown against Rapid Fire. That's a big influx of gold into the Iridescent Dawn mid laner.
Overall, I mean, it's both these teams, they're constantly trading back and forth. Like, leads are very marginal, but it's obviously, again, it's that big objective score. They're going to get that second charge into that mid lane. They get that kill onto the Kaisa, but it only goes to the Nico. Like, you really need to spread that love, because if Nico goes down, then the team fight is super rough there. As Yang, that's not a hook you want to go for.
Yarg now gonna get flayed in. Raging Alcoholic gonna go for that volcanic area, and that's not really the oh my god, there's the eruption. Raging Alcoholic will take out Yarg. 0, 6, and 5 on that Nautilus. Not gonna be worth a lot, but it's still cool to see.
Yeah, it's really rough. Yarg is kind of flipping back and forth. You have like those really good rotations like he did in mid lane, and then it's kind of like, you know, it's like, oh no, what are you doing? But overall, I mean, it's still, most of the deaths are on that Nautilus kind of doing the job of being that meat frontline. But again, it's like differences between like a great support and a good support is knowing when to go in and kind of being that meat bag, taking whatever you need to take for your team. Right now, Smolder's at 126. He's starting to scale up pretty strongly here, doing the, oh, you go does max second. Okay, definitely against a team that has as much damage and burst as Dreadzone, but it's still pretty even. It's only like 901k gold for these teams. Like Fiora hasn't quite hit that strength yet to be a split push menace, but Drake's coming up. It is going to be a Mountain Soul, so I think that one is, I think that's a mark for me, as Bennett is going to get jumped on here to issue the challenge.
Oh, gonna go for the grand challenge, going to have a little bit of extra movement speed, but it's not really gonna be enough. Who gets the kill? It's Cuz. It's actually, oh, it is gonna be Cuz. Gonna be on a rampage now, 7, 4, and 2. Meanwhile, bottom side of the rift here for Dread Zone Gaming, look to potentially go for this Drake, and maybe gonna have enough time to pick this one up. Smolder is there, getting a lot of damage in, but General Zenyatta now just about to arrive. Maybe an opportunity for Dread Zone Gaming to be able to go for a play, as Flash was used by Raging Alcoholic for some reason. I'm not sure. Teleport is going to come in from Tanzo, and it's going to be a 5v4. Mom's going to drop a lot of damage on it. Cuz is going to go for the Heartbreaker. Going to get back to 1 HP. Going to get shut down by Dreamo, who gets a big payout, but the rest of Dread Zone Gaming are looking to finish the job, and they will finish the job. They are going to pick up these, oh, maybe not the pseudo ace, as Dreamo will get hit by the explosive cask. There it is. Iridescent Dawn will be pseudo aced, and Dread Zone Gaming gonna go straight to Baron Nashor.
It was definitely a good idea to grab that Drake. They burn it down. It's just they don't have like enough sustainable damage to burn it down. Like Smolder is predominantly skill based. You're not really auto attacking as much as a Smolder, so it's like they do it pretty slow. So like once they grab it, they opted to look for that fight. Like General Zilyana, man, that's a very small font. But like he gets that big 3-man ult, but the rest of the team really isn't there to blow up the Viego fast enough, because he starts healing up with that Sundered Sky, and it really stalls just enough that the rest of the team can come through. Lots of big summoners blown there, and they don't quite get what they want. They lose the Baron. They're down 4k gold, but they do stall out that soul long enough here. Mountain Soul being one of the highest win rate souls in the game. But right now, kind of have to look back at Smolder. I think right now he's probably at 150 stacks, which is still very good. But he's like, yeah, I was right on the money. He's at 160 now, but he's very far behind the curve right now. 21 minutes here, as Zilyana is gonna get jumped on.
All right, a lot of damage on to General Zilyana. Poplaz is going to drop, going to be able to get the knockup, but Tanzo will come in with the explosive cast. Will go on a killing spree. Cuz is going to be the Curious Chameleon for just a second. Realizes that he doesn't have any siege damage and will get out of that ASAP. But that's going to be bottom tier 1 tower going down, as the gold lead and the momentum lead continue to accumulate, as Dread Zone Gaming are in the Baron power play for the next 100 seconds and look to get rapid fire onto this inner tower in the bottom lane. Remember earlier, mid-tier 2 tower was taken by Raging Alcoholic and Feliz, and now just looking to be able to get these side lanes cleaned up to go for an end game motion, or potentially going for an inhibitor play, as so many of the Iridescent Dawn players have been allocated towards the bottom side of the rift to try to stop this inner tower from going down. The inhibitor tower in the mid lane is going to be down to less than half HP, and Dread Zone Gaming are navigating this beautifully. They will get the inner tower on the bottom side of the rift and will continue to make this siege crushing for Iridescent Dawn. Tanzo with another great explosive cask will go at a rampage to just add insult to injury here, Banana.
It's always like, they're kind of looking for these plays as rapid fire does flash out there. There comes Mom, not gonna hit nothing, but lots of damage on Raging Alcoholic actually.
Oh boy, and Dreamo gets hit by the Spiraling Despair. Gonna be put down to about 20th of their HP, but will be able to survive. Rapid Fire did not commit to the Killer Instinct, and so will be able to walk back to lick their wounds. Cuz not able to get the stun on to Yarg, but still about 16 seconds remaining on this Baron power play. Inhibitor tower is not long for this world and will be taken here. I don't know if there's a close angle, but there is definitely an inhibitor angle, and they will be able to get it. Yarg is getting hit by another death sentence, and that's going to be 1 down. Cruz is going to come in to pick up a Heartbreaker stack and will be able to use it to take out Dreamo. 2 kills for Dread Zone Gaming, make it 3 kills for Dread Zone Gaming, as Kaisa Rapid Fire is going to pick up a double kill. Ryzel 1 HP is going to be on Vision, and now Dread Zone Gaming looking to go for the end here, Banana. 23 minutes in, and a surgical game by Dread Zone. They're gonna win game 1.
It was just like you're kind of going even, which is definitely something you want to do if you're playing like a scaling composition. But in a game where almost all your money went into the Nico's pocket, it's super dire, as Dread Zone are going to pick up the first game in this series. You're not really spreading the love. You got to spread the love a little bit, you know? Like you have to let Smolder kind of scale up.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Aegis Marauders League. We are back. Apologies for the disruption of the service. If we can get a shout out to Wookie Monster, he needs all the help that he can get to get himself new equipment, new OBS, new internet, and by thanking him, his energy and his aura increases, so he gets an opportunity to potentially get those fixed. But anyway, all kidding aside, thank you, Wookie Monster, everything that you do. And now let's go ahead and jump into the draft. Dreadzone Gaming going to be over on blue side to start off game number 2. And immediately Iridescent Dawn is saying we don't even want to deal with the Smolder pick. We're going to ban it out, our first pick. Do we get to see the Maokai Karma handshake once again? We'll have to see.
Yeah, so if we see something different from last draft, I think the one thing that was different was the Senate. So Maokai is still open. So Maokai and Karma are both still open. So it's going to be Dreadzone. They're going to have to kind of pick, and they're going to take that Karma instead here. So I think Karma is still very strong, even though she did get a pretty hefty nerf to her Mantra Q damage. But like for me, Maokai, I think I prefer Maokai more just because he's a lot more flexible in the way you want to play and the amount of utility he brings, because you have the sapling, direct vision, you have the great engage with the ultimate. Like it's very hard to escape it if you don't have a very chunky front line. And so Dreadzone, they're just gonna, once again, they're gonna lock in that Gragas. So it is still a quadruple flex, and Iridescent, they're gonna go for that Maokai Kaisa combination here, and Kindred. So they take away that one counter to Kindred, and they take it for themselves.
Wow, and I love this pickup here, and it's a bit of a fringe pick in the AML. It's not something that has been played by many teams, and I'm going to just confirm that now. I'm pretty sure that they're at the bottom of the list, if not, low-ish to the bottom. Kindred. No, 10 games played. So currently 4-6 in the AML, but very low pick rate here for Aegis Marauders League's games, and has not really been a priority pick at all in season 14, at least for me. So curious to see how that is going to get used up here, as Iridescent Dawn are going to take the Syndra R3, which is going to give Dreadzone Gaming maybe an opportunity to go for a spicy ADC here. Maybe they go for a spicy mid lane pick, and Karma goes into the bottom side of the Rift. And Iridescent Dawn are looking to ban out the bottom side with the Varus and the Ashe Hovered. Ashe going to get taken away. So trying to ban out some of those pesky bottom lane picks for Dreadzone Gaming.
Yeah, they're banning away those strong skirmishy bot laners that can beat Kaisa early game. Then they can kind of outrange and poke her out. So, and then Dreadzone banning out those junglers that are able to set up ganks or team fights very well here. So we're going to see the Wukong recently got buffed a bit. It's a pretty decent buff, where the passive stack a lot faster, so you get that benefit, you get the armor, you get the regen a lot better, so you win out on a lot of those trades better. As we see a Rakan being hovered here, Rakan's like really weird just because like it's very hard to play into Karma Gragas not knowing where either or are going. And so right now we're gonna see that Kaisa Rakan bot lane here, Maokai being flexed into either the top or jungle. So it's very hard to play into a Kindred because you have a very all-in style composition against a Kindred Gragas Karma that can play very easily front to back, and you have a Jinx, so they're kind of going for like that protect the president kind of style composition, where it's so hard to get on top of that Jinx if you have that Gragas standing in front, being that beef front line.
Love it. And Pyke gonna get hovered. I'm gooped. We'll see if fails. I realize that I'm dyslexic. I also realize that I'm blind. Hails decides to go for this one here on the bottom side of the rift, and no, it will be more of that protect the president type style composition with the TK. Now, what's interesting here is that it is still, like you were talking about, still a very flexible team for Dreadzone Gaming. Gragas and Kindred and TK could all go into the support role, and Gragas and Karma can go into the mid lane. So there is definitely some flexibility here depending on what Iridescent Dawn decides to go for. And for B-Way Bennett, it's going to be the Aurelia R5 pickup here. What are your thoughts on Aurelia, and what are your thoughts on Aurelia into this composition?
Aurelia, looking at the composition in general, Iridescent have a very all-in composition. They really need to go in and blow somebody up before the Kindred can pop that ult, or Tahm Kench can nom somebody up. So it's definitely a composition. It's kind of like do or die. Like, you need to go in, blow somebody up, or the entire play is kind of a little ruined. But on the flip side, Aurelia is very good in that 1v1. I would suspect it is going to be Gragas top, just because Gragas can definitely neutralize that matchup a lot better. Tanzo did a very good job last game playing into that Fiora, never dying, and a lot of pressure being put up there thinking that it was going to be an island. So I would expect this lane to kind of just be somewhat the same thing. It's just going to be a bit of a handshake lane, but it's going to have to be on B-Way to kind of handle that pressure instead of looking constantly all in, looking for that solo kill. Kind of leverage that lead, leverage that lane a little bit more, and be a little more reserved in that aggression. Well, otherwise, like that Dreadzone, they have a really good protect the president style composition. You're not diving that backline very easily.
For sure, and I love it. Like, you know, again, I think Dreadzone Gaming, you talked about one of the strengths, or one of the identifying factors of season 14, and it is flexibility of champions being able to go into multiple roles. And so when I think like that, I think like the Twisted Fate from 14.3, 14.4 being able to go into bottom side or mid lane, and now the Karma and the Gragas and even the TK, like, these are all pieces of the puzzle that can manage whatever type of exchange they want to go for. So with the knowledge that Kaisek, Rakan are going to be in the bottom side, with the knowledge that it is going to be Aurelia in the jungle and then Maokai on the top side of the rift, where do you want to see the champion placements be for Dreadzone Gaming for it to be the most optimal?
A game like this, I mean, it's probably going to be kind of the same thing, because Aurelia is going to fall off like a rock against this composition. So they are going to figure out that B-Way wants to go super aggressive like he did last game. He's going to go aggressive, they're going to punish it, and it's going to be just a nice lead going into that top side, getting a lot of those grubs and winning a lot of those early skirmishes, because that's exactly what happened. And I expect the same thing would probably happen again. With a game like this, I want to see who is it? Yarg roam a little bit more, because you're playing in a bot lane where it's not very easily to engage on Kai'Sa. She will get poked out by Jinx, but it's not very easy to engage on the Kai'Sa. She's in too much of a threat of getting all in completely in the duo. But you also want to kind of track that jungler a little bit better for both sides, making sure that you're not just stepping over vision randomly, and you're not playing, you always want to play a game very deliberately. So a game like this, again, it's Iridescent, they have to get a lead early, or this entire comp is going to fall apart in front of their eyes.
For sure. And with that being said, I mean, I think you said it best. And so I got nothing else to say for this game. Let's go ahead and jump into the Dragon Draft here for game 2. You were correct. It was a Mountain Soul and Rift for only the second time in the season here, or on stream since I watched for the AML. And let's go ahead and we'll start with round 2. And I'm gonna go with Ocean Soul again here, Banana.
Yo, I'm gonna stick with my gut. I'm gonna stick with the best souls in the game, Cloud Mountain.
Cloud and Mountain are the best souls in the game? Or the best remaining soul in the game?
It's just like statistically, Mountain is obviously just very good. You get a giant shield, you get a bunch of bonus resistances, and Cloud, I personally think Cloud is very underrated. You're talking about, I think it's 6% movement speed, out of combat movement speed and slow reduction. That is very big in a game where, like, look at this team. There's a lot of slows. You have Gragas Q, Kindred E, Karma Q, Jinx W, and Kench W or Kench Q. That's a lot of slows. And then other side is a little more CC oriented, but it's still kind of like you definitely want that move speed to help dodge. So, like, in my opinion, I think Cloud is very underrated. People do not like treasure it highly enough.
Fair enough. I mean, they do say that movement speed is the most important stat in the game, and being able to move around the map and being able to get to places faster could be the difference between winning a team fight, losing a team fight, winning the game, and losing the game. So, I mean, no argument there. I love the Cloud Soul, and so that is going to leave me with the Infernal Ocean and Hextech. You're going to go with Mountain Cloud and Chemtech. And with that being said, we're going to jump into a quick break. When we come back, game number 2 between Dread Zone Gaming and Iridescent Dawn will commence. We'll be right back. Welcome back, everybody, to the Aegis Marauders League. We are here with game number 2, and with our final ad read of the regular season. Quick shout out to ProComps, our sponsor and game changer app for the League of Legends community. This is not just like other tools, it's your personal draft coach, perfect for both teams and solo players. In fact, you can pair it with any other app you use. ProComps stands out with features like custom champion pools, personalized tier lists, and a live draft advice. Think of it as having a coach or strategy toolkit all in one. They offer real-time champ and ban recommendations, already have 200,000 downloads and thousands of daily users like you. ProComps is user-friendly and totally free. It's a no-brainer to at least give it a go. Download your ProComps now and you experience a whole new level of drafting power in your league games. Go to ProComps GG, download it from MobileWolf, or click the panel below our stream. And as I was reading that, some damage back and forth, thank God nobody died.
Oh, it's already over, man. It's a 12 CS or 12 gold lead to the Syndra, man. You gave her all that free money. But jokes aside here, looks like Iridescent, they got a lot more deeper vision in. Also some vision for themselves here for Dreadzone. So it looks like Tanzo, he's just going like in a lane like this, he's just going like for tank, or he's like going for more of like the heavy trading pattern with the grasp here to try to sustain this lane a little bit better. Aurelia is a little bit of a different beast early on here. She's not much of a bully, she's more of a all in and kill you. But otherwise, I mean, the rest of these lanes are kind of going how you would expect bot lane. It's going to go for that all in, already igniting.
Oh my God, a lot of damage here on Rapid Fire. Rapid Fire 1 HP, but it's first blood over to Dreamo, as Fails will be able to take them out to make it a 1-for-1 play. Yarg in trouble. Yarg has flash, but is going to get stunned out of the grand entrance, and Yarg is going to get ignited, and that will be a 2-for-1 special with Fails giving a little BM. Will be a very wealthy catfish.
Already 2-0 on the catfish. It is still overall worth it though. Jinx didn't get anything. She doesn't lose any waves, but oh, that's a double flash top. That's flash.
A good flash there from Tanzo, and that'll do it with Cuz. Picking up B-Way Bennett. Did not get a stack off of it, but is going to disrupt this Aurelia.
Oh, it's already very, very bloody early game. Before even 3 minutes, we have 4 kills before 3 minutes. It is now a pretty chunky gold lead. It's not that great just because if you think about it, all that money is on that Kench. Is unironically, Yarg is in debt because he does have that rune. But overall, I mean, it's still pretty good for the side of Iridescent still. You know, they got that money on the primary target, which is that Kaisa. She did get that 450 in her pocket. But overall, I mean, it's not too bad. Both teams kind of do the same thing, where it's Cuz is just going to go top lane just because he knows he can absolutely punish Bennett very easily here, as Greg is really with that happy feet. But Ping's coming through and want to look for that gank bot side here, kind of handshaking mid lane, just kind of pushing it back and forth. But they really want to look for this Drake. It is going to be Infernal Drake first here. So it looks like it is going to be one loss for you.
Yes, unfortunately. I've been wanting to see Infernal Soul all season long. And unless there was an Infernal Soul last week when I was away, we have yet to see an Infernal Soul and Rift here on the Aegis Marauders League stream. It is just not the soul, not the rift that anyone wants to see. No one wants to play the Bard minigame, and neither does the streamed matches here for the AML. With that being said, though, you know, gonna get that back for Fails, and it's gonna be a Kindle gem, going to just have an accelerated first item, as we are gonna get a play on the top side of the rift once again. Tanzo does have a lot of HP and a big minion wave to potentially go for something here, as well as that demolish. Going to be able to get the stun, going to be able to get the body slam, going to be able to get the damage, and that will do it. A great dive by Cuz and Tanzo, but are they going to be able to get out of this though? As Cuz maybe going to be a little greedy for their efforts, does not have flash, going to be able to get stunned, and Rizel will almost get it. Oh my God, Rizel is going to make it a 2-for-1 play, but Tanzo will pick up the double buffs.
It is really, really rough in that top side. I mean, exactly what I said is coming to fruition. They're going to punish that over aggression top side. They're going to kind of punish that champions because like that's a thing about like, ooh, I'm surprised that didn't stop. But it's always like when you're playing those kind of carry champions, Fiora, Aurelia, stuff like that. These are champions that require like a good influx of gold because the biggest strength is that they can play that early game. They can look for those solo kills, but if you're playing with jungler present, it's super hard.
All right, now we're going to get to see maybe the game slow down a little bit here. Iridescent Dawn down by 700 at the 6-minute mark. Void Grubs are available as we're going to see Cuz potentially try to start them and will go for it. First mark, or one mark, was on the Raptors, already taken there by Ryzel, so not going to be able to pick that one up. But I'm actually very impressed. Cuz is going to very easily take down first Grub and should be able to get the other two with ease here, as they are going to be pings coming in from Iridescent Dawn on the top side of the Rift, maybe looking to go for a potential gank, as Tanzo with those double buffs are going to see that B-Way Bennett is there. Last Void Grub has not been shown. They now know that that Cuz is up here, as Tanzo is still going to be at half HP, does have the explosive cask available to potentially go for a play, and there it is. That's going to be B-Way Bennett down to 1 HP, will end up going down to Tanzo. Tanzo is rooted. Tanzo survives and fails to get a kill against Yarg on the bottom side of the Rift, and once more wants to go for a double. Does he get it? The answer is going to be yes. Fails is on a rampage, 4-0-0.
Yeah, this game is it's looking a little rough, just a little bit.
Bleak, I would say.
9-2 at 7 minutes. We are averaging roughly a kill and a half per minute here. It is very dire. I mean, you have a 4-0 Kench. Yeah, it's not the optimal target you want, but a very tanky Kench with his ADC is a very happy ADC. You know, obviously you want that gold more, but like again, they're punishing top lane. Like, you should not be going top at this point. You kind of have to like, you don't want to look. You want to look for more of that reactive play here. As Pink's coming by there.
Wow, nice flash from Rapid Fire, going to be able to avoid the knockup from Yarg, who will go down now 0-3-1. This is a 2v2 play as the Abyssal Dive is going to get canceled. Fails is now in it for the kill, and Dreamo's going to get the shutdown gold. Rapid Fire going to get hit by that Bramble Branch, but here comes Cuz, going to go in with the Lamb's Respite to keep Rapid Fire alive, and they will finally get their second kill of the game, now 2-1-2.
Yeah, the only respite in this game for Iridescent is Dreamo getting very fed, getting a really big shutdown on that Kench. That's obviously the only caveat of your support getting all the kills, is they will die for you, but unless they have a shutdown, you really don't want them dying. So that's going to be donated over to Dreamo, but like, this game is still very rough. I mean, top lane, it's a gold difference about 1,300. Jungle, it's even more. It's a little less. It's like 1,100 here. Mid lane is pretty much dead even, as we see the 1v1 top lane finally.
Tanzo going to get hit by the explosive cask after going for a fun dash, will end up not getting the kill. Before that play happened, Tanzo went back to base, was able to pick up their Rod of Ages, and will start to clean that up. Eclipse is going to be the first item of choice for Cuz, looking to be a little bit more potentially utility here, as we are going to get a game pause. Now, you were telling me in the break that you're a Masters player. You were talking about that. When you play with Kindred, or you play against Kindred, is Eclipse normally the build that you see, or the one that you recommend?
Not particularly. I mean, you just kind of go for like the regular build. You just go like Kraken. You kind of just keep going on hit. You just go Kraken, and then from there you kind of fill out with whatever else. Obviously, you stick with Conquer just because you stack it very fast, because you're constantly queuing with that W within that W zone. But you never see Eclipse on Kindred. But in a game like this where you're snowballing very heavily and you have a very burst oriented team and you want to get those resets faster with the Jinx, Eclipse is definitely very good here, and it provides you a lot of utility with that shield also, which you really like to have, especially against a lot of these champions that are more health stacking than resistances for now. But it's 11-3 at 9 minutes. It's a 3K gold deficit, it's very hard for them to come back unless they play these team fights perfectly from this point on here, because it's just so rough because you want to cover your top laner so you could stop them from hemorrhaging gold, but it's also like you kind of have to leave them because if they die, because if you fail to play top, then you're just feeding a bigger influx of gold into Dread Zone.
Yeah, and now, you know, like you were talking about, the lead is not, it's not necessarily insurmountable. We never want to say that a game is over. I mean, yesterday I cast a game that was, you know, Emerald Diamond level players. They threw a 10,000 gold lead. So, you know, things are still definitely possible. But with what we've seen Dread Zone Gaming Styx be able to do here just in game one, and the amount of skill that they've had in both of these games is definitely looking like an expected result for them. I mean, for most people, I mean, and for most watchers here of the AML and for most of the players, I think the expectation was that Dread Zone Gaming was going to take this series. It would be a shock if they weren't able to do that. But, you know, this game is still potential, or still has the potential to go Iridescent Dawn side, but it is already just going to be a very difficult effort for them to make that happen as we get back into this game.
Yeah, I would like to see, again, like I talked about it before, I wanted to see more roams from Yarg. You're not going to get much in this bot lane playing Rakan into a Kench Jinx. Yeah, you got that first kill, but that was kind of a lucky kill. A little misstep from Rapid Fire. So it's like, at this point, you just have to really roam because you have a lot of good setup in the top mid. So like at this point, you just kind of roam top, try to cover for that, the Aurelia, so you can get a kill, because top lane is a very volatile lane. If you get one kill, that entire lane is over. You're not going to do anything. Drake is still up on the table at 10 minutes almost, so they're going to look to start invading here, looking to get leverage that priority finally.
Okay, Yarg going to be able to get back to safety to Dreamo, but Raging Alcoholic looking to pick up the blue buff has been so oppressive in the enemy jungle against Sir Rizel in both games. You know, I look back to the first blood that that was attempted there. Rizel and the team of Iridescent Dawn was able to pick it up, but it wasn't before Cuz was able to pick up the Scuttle Crab and the blue buff against them. So we'll see if they want to continue to keep that oppression going. Meanwhile, though, Dragon started, and Dragon will be completed here for Dread Zone Gaming as they are looking to potentially go for a play. But Yarg, what are you doing? It just seems like you're not here in this series. We'll go for a play that just wasn't ever going to work. Will you use Flash and Grand Error of the quickness to get nothing?
I mean, I don't need to say nothing. The play itself was kind of self-explanatory, but yeah, I mean, even if you get the pick onto the Jinx, Fails is still nearby. Oh, Karma, she's low.
Unleashed power there. Raging Alcoholic gonna have some fancy footwork, gonna get under tower. Will utilize the shield. Oh my god! Oh
Wow.
my god! I'm gagged. I'm gagged.
That actually, there's no way. If I ever got hit with a sauce like that, I'm quitting the game. I'm AFKing right there. If I ever got sauced up like that, I would quit the game. But like, again, even if you go for that, again, back to the original thought, if you go for that play bot, even if you do manage to get that Jinx, you're going to get rained down by that Kindred. She is 3-1-3, finally got the reset, got the new quiver. They're going for the Grubs top side, and they're getting collapsed upon.
Yeah, now Rizel going to come in. Flash is going to get used as the direct camera is going to be on the bottom side of the red. Teleport is going to come in by General Ziliana. They want to go for this play, and Rapid Fire will get shut down. Meanwhile, the Void Grubs attempted by Dread Zone Gaming. They are going to get the 5 to be able to get the Hunger of the Void buff. Bottom side, however, it is the response for 2 kills going to Dreamo and to General Ziliana.
Yeah, 6. It was 5 grubs actually, so not quite going to get that denied mark here. Right now Kindred is at 3 marks, so honestly for her being 3-1-3, I thought she would have a couple more, but overall, I mean, it's again, they're putting pressure on that top side. Bennett cannot do anything in this lane. He is pretty much in the dumps right now. Man is in the slums. He is not getting no money whatsoever. He's down a K to his opponent. But great thing is Aegis is a fairly cheap item. The Kragus build right now is fairly cheap as goes for that ultimate, gets a slow.
Yep, Hanzo going to be able to avoid the stun. Nature's Grasp will come in. Cuz will avoid the root, and Tanzo will just be able to body slam back to safety, as now Kun's potentially going to be in trouble themselves. Gonna have to use the Lamb's Respite, and does get it. It's just in the nick of time. Gonna be able to get the healing from Tanzo. Is gonna go for the explosive cask, and kaboom! And kaboom! And kaboom! It's gonna be kaboom after kaboom after kaboom! And a cannonball from Tanzo to finish the job. It's 3-0 and 4 for the Gragas.
Actually, another play again.
Okay, gonna be a lot of damage in on to Rapid Fire, but the Devour will be enough into the Abyssal Dive. Dreamo and Yarg gonna try to be able to get away from this one, though, as Fails has a rocket of the Iron Solari, still has the shielding available, but will be able to get out. The demolish from Dreadzone's Gaming's top laner from Tanzo will be able to pick up the first turret before 14 minutes, and this game is just looking better and better for Dreadzone Gaming.
Yeah, that play bot lane was definitely a bit of a miscommunication, because you see Dreamo dives in, he stays in, and then Yar kind of just walks away, with the lack of cooldowns, not really being able to do too much. So it's a bit of a miscommunication that results in Dreamo losing all his summoners, Yarg losing his flash, and not much happening in that play. Topside, you can see the power of the Aurelia. Aurelia is super strong. You give her an ounce of money, she is going to run away with the game. She is pretty much dead even in CS, but down 2k gold. That Gragas is a very rich, drunk man. So they're going to go for that Rift Herald here. They're going to grab that one. So once again, it's Dreadzone. They're constantly on these rotations. They're getting these perfect, almost these picture perfect plays here to grab all these objectives, as we see the Twisted advance bot lane.
Yeah, gonna be the Nature's Grasp as well. Going to be able to get the root on to Fails, but Fails is one taking Catfish with all of those kills they had earlier. Tanzo gonna come in, does have the explosive cask to take out Dreamo, and that's gonna be 2 kills for Dreadzone. Make it 3, as the Riptide's gonna get summoned on the middle lane, and just things go from bad to worse to cataclysmic for Iridescent Dawn. Dreadzone Gaming even to get the and one headbutt. Oh no, you do not have your driver's permit there, cuz we'll miss it. But could potentially get score against General Zilyana. Does get it. Oh boy.
Yeah, at this point, Dreadzone, they're kind of messing around with their food. It's a 8k gold lead. It's 17-7. I mean, just purely off of Dreadzone, they're averaging more than a death per minute. It's super. It's not even rough anymore. It's just doomed. It's pretty much over. I mean, look at Karma. Karma doesn't really need to do nothing. She has 0 KP in a 16-minute game, but all the action's been happening around top bot, all those side lanes, just the volatility of them. You don't expect it to be that volatile with these scaling champs like the Jinx Gragas.
For sure. And I mean, I agree. There's very few avenues that Iridescent Dawn comes back into this game. But General Zilyana, bless their heart, has been trying to do everything that they can. Quick, it's going to land, but Cuz is going to be able to get the Lamb's Respite. Oh my god, does he survive? Oh, the shield from Rapid Fire going to save Cuz. Oh no, that's also Rapid Fire surviving. No. Oh no. Oh no, I feel so bad. I feel so bad. Oh my god, Dreadzone Gaming is just so good.
Yeah, we've reached the point where no more words need to be said. I mean, Aurelia is 2 levels down. She actually has more CS, but she's gonna die. That's pretty much a unofficial ace here at 17 minutes, as yeah, the lashing comes through. But it's I really don't know, because it was almost the same game plan from last game. Punish the over-aggression top lane, and then it's just a game like this, Iridescent Dawn, they kept going to try to cover for the top laner. But at what point do you consider cutting your losses and just kind of letting him be? At what point do you cut that loss?
I mean, yeah, I mean, I think that's been a kind of focal point here for the AML, and that's something that I think a lot of teams have to be able to say is, you know, if a lane is just gone, if it's a sacked lane, you've got to be able to just find ways to mitigate the damage. You've got to, you know, cut off the limb, you got to cauterize the wound, and try to go for something somewhere else and make plays happen. And some teams have been able to do that, you know, very well, and some teams have been able to do it very well on stream. But, you know, so many of these resources were allocated to B-Way that they just weren't able to find those opportunities that they were looking for. And I mean, shout out to Dreadzone Gaming as well for really nullifying this Maokai pick, for making the R5 Aurelia just ineffective. Tanzo is 6-0 and 7, going to be going for a full AP build of that Lich Bane is just absolutely a monster. Already 10 stacks on their Rod of Ages, and not even in trouble. Will avoid the Nature's Grasp, going to be able to get away from the Aurelia ultimate. And now a fight that Dreadzone Gaming didn't even start is going to be completed by them. They're going to pick up multiple kills in another masterclass on how to run away with a game.
It started like it wasn't, the start wasn't too bad. Like, if Aurelia, instead of like looking to land the ability, just kind of stands in front of the Gragas and looks to block him, like, that's when you can kind of look for the play. But the moment he got over the wall, you kind of have to stop. Like, he flashed away into his team. You have no vision, you don't have any information on where everybody is, so it's like you get the 4-man knockup, but everybody is trapped behind like the little traps. As mid lane, it's going to be a bit of a collapse going on here.
Okay, teleport's going to come through from Tanzo. Does not have the explosive cask, as Dreamo going to be one hit away. Crew's going to be able to land the random spike once again. A lot of damage going to be in onto Cuz, but going to be able to get out. Nicely done. Cuz is going to be on a killing spree. And low health bars for the Dreadzone Gaming jungler and ADC, but just not enough to be able to get them down.
Yeah, honestly, it's just every single time they go for a play, it looks pretty nice, but it's like you got to a point where even if you do get the perfect play, you don't have enough damage to come back from it. I mean, your Aurelia is 1-6, Kai'Sa is very strong, yeah, Syndra is strong, yeah, but like, you have 3 different things to counter. You have Tahm Kench to eat, you have the Karma Shield, you have the Locket, you have the Lamb's Respite. That's 4 things. Correction. So it's like you can't do anything. Like, you want to go in, but Dreadzone, they drafted this entire composition around, oh, you want to dive me? Nah, just outplay button, Lamb's Respite, boom, lock it, boom, Kench eat, boom. Oh, like, half HP Kai'Sa with a single mantra Q, only Horizon Focus and Malignance, they're doing the bear, and I don't even think they can contest this. This is just a desperate play at this point.
A desperation play. Ryzel's going to have to go for something here as Baron does get deleashed. A lot of damage going to land in on Raging Alcoholic, who's caught out, will be taken out of this one. And Iridescent Dawn are going to get the best play that they've had this entire series. Going to be able to get the shutdown onto Raging Alcoholic. Tanzo's going to go down, but the resets from Rapid Fire will come in. The rocket will not land. And the audacity. Dreadzone Gaming are going to say we're going to go back to Baron to complete it.
It's so rough because Rakan got interrupted somehow in the backline. I don't know how. I'm assuming it was the Gragas E, but like, they're going for the Baron. Like, at this point, it's just like you're tilted. You want this game over with. You're kind of gonna open it up a little bit, but it's like, again, like I said, it was like you almost get the perfect play, but they're so far ahead it doesn't even. Wait, what? That's done. That okay? That was weird. The ball was behind her, I guess. But yeah, it's like you get the semi-perfect play, but you're just so far down at, oh my god, like, again, it's what I said before. You just press the outplay button, you can do nothing.
All right, that's going to be Cuz going on a rampage. Will give a shutdown over to B-Way Bennett, but that is just going to put a small dent into the 11,000 gold lead here that Dreadzone Gaming currently have. You know, luxury items, 3 items completed for Rapid Fire. Ghost is just going to get popped out of nowhere. General Zilyana going to get that shutdown, though. That's a 1,000 gold shutdown for General Zilyana, and Fails is caught out. That could be even more damage here for kills for Iridescent Dawn. They will pick up another one. B-Way Bennett will get that.
Like, the Kench only has a Locket, which gives you, like, out of all the full completed items, like full completed tank items, it gives you like some of the lowest HP in the game. It only gives you 230 of resistances. So it's like you can't really do too much. Flash coming out for the karma, but it's Gragas. There's no way Gragas steals this.
Okay, now, okay. Gonna be able to get in. Tanzo will go down. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, it's okay. So it's like right now they're actually starting to mount a comeback a little bit. Now Dread Zone, they kind of got to lock in a little bit now because they're playing a little bit silly before. Now it's only 3 Drakes. We're 23 minutes into this game, and it's only been 3 Drakes the entire game. It's only a 5-minute spawn between like all 3. Because it got the first Drake at I think like 9 minutes or something like that, like 8-9 minutes. So it's like a game like this, they're starting to mount a comeback, but it's still so dire because like even if the leads are exactly the same, it's purely just comp diff. Because Kindred pops her, boom, lands respite, boom, can't do nothing. Oh wait, you still have the Kenshi, boom, still can't do nothing. You still can't get on the priority targets. But again, like they're kind of like sitting down like good ducks in like the vision. Like Kindred's able to walk up for free. You can't do anything about it.
And now, you know, the game disrupted a little bit for Dread Zone Gaming, but you know, the lead is still there. It was 3,000 gold going into the pockets of Iridescent Dawn with those shutdowns. That is 3 items on this Syndra. Syndra level 14. I mean, you are definitely going to be putting in work if you're able to find somebody caught out of position. Going to be a scouting rocket that Cuz is going to be able to take from B-Way Bennett, who will be forced to flash away. But no objectives available. Just trying to maybe push this one out and go for an end play if you are able to find that right team fight if you're Dread Zone Gaming.
So actually, this Syndra is very fed. If you're looking at it from like a kind of like an omniscient point of view, Syndra will one-shot anybody not named Tom Kench. Like even then, she might even one-shot Kench, just because his lack of MR and HP is very evident. Like what? If you click on Kench right now, yeah, 2,200 HP. I think Kindred has almost the same amount. She has 2,000. Kench only has 200 more HP than his jungler that's only building damage. Well, and then they have the Phage, but the Triforce. But I mean, it's still in your 2 levels down. But I mean, it's still kind of crazy that like you have that much health discrepancy. Like the health discrepancy is so low between both of them. So right now, I mean, again, it's just for Iridescent Dawn to come back into this game, they need to stop bleeding. They need to stop hemorrhaging gold. They need to play like very intelligently around where they're going. You know, play around the saplings, look for like that shallow vision as much as you can, and then move as a unit. Look for that wombo combo, burst the Kindred down and CC the Kench before they can do anything to save their carries.
25 minutes into the game now, and it is definitely slowed down after what was an early or very, very bloody start to the contest. 42 kills at 25 minutes. We are definitely looking to be on pace for one of the bloodiest, fastest games here on the AML stream. General Ziliana going to go for the stun against Tanzo, but it was an elaborate ruse, and Cuz will be able to take down General Ziliana, the most fed member of the Iridescent Dawn squad, as the inhibitor is going to go down on the top side of the Ritz in a 4v5 situation. Cuz is going to go in, get a little bit of damage on the B-Way Benders. The Zap is going to slow them down. Nature's Grasp will proc. Going to be a shield from Yarg. That Log of the Iron Solari coming in clutch this time, as the rest of Dread Zone Gaming now maybe looking to go for a Nexus turret. Instead, they will back away and are looking to potentially go for a Baron spawning in 30 seconds.
Yeah, it's kind of like, again, it's just Dread Zone. They're kind of messing around a little bit. They want to kind of relish this victory a little more. They kind of know they're locked in as the 3rd seed? Or no, 2nd. Let me look. I forgot. Yeah, 2nd seed. They're going to be locked in for a 2nd seed pretty much here. So they're kind of relishing this victory a little bit more. Mario Kart 7, they're playing against Akuma Blades. What? Who? Akuma Blades. They're not even on here. Am I? Oh.
Yeah. So we have Sai. We have cross division matches every week, and Mario Kart 7 is now going for theirs, I believe, today.
Oh, okay, that's a very interesting thought. But anyway, it's 11K gold lead. I mean, that one little team fight was definitely a bit of luck here. Drake's coming up. It's an Ocean Soul, so I think you got that one.
It is indeed an Ocean Soul, which is mine. So we go 1 for 1. It's almost as though we have a 50% chance of winning every single time. But
love statistics.
Love it. But still, no Infernal Soul. What the heck? Top lane inhibitor is still down for Iridescent Dawn. Baron has been completed by Dreadzone Gaming. Not really even a thought in Iridescent Dawn mine, but they're gonna catch a Kindred out of position, who's going to go for the lands with Spite, and now Tanzo going to go for an explosive cast, keep able to land free under Yarg. Kuz is going to be able to flash away from Yarg. A beautiful flash from Kuz to be able to get away from the damage that Rakan is trying to go for. Kuz is going to be 1 HP, rapid fire, going to be taken out. B-Way Bennett is going to be on a rampage, and Fails is going to try to go for the kill against Dreamo. Does get the kill against Dreamo, as Raging Alcoholic's going to walk away, and the rest of Dreadzone Gaming are forced to lick their wounds. Another successful fight for the Iridescent Dawn squad, but maybe they bite off more than they can chew. B-Ray Bennett going to get hit by the tether. We'll be able to walk away. Dragon spawned and ready to go.
Yep, Drake is up. So Karma is still alive. She's kicking it, and she is very strong. Cuz does have a couple camps that he can heal off of, but they need the base. That is 2 super minions running down your base, and that's not going to be the reset. He canceled it.
Okay, that's going to be General Zuliana being able to take that kill against Raging Alcoholic, but a Nexus Tower will fall in exchange. So Dreadzone Gaming going to get something out of that, though. General Zuliana potentially in trouble, as Cuz looking to go for the outplay will get stunned by the Scout of the Week, and that should do it. 300 HP remaining. Nature's Grasp going to get procced, and Cuz will get rooted. That will finish the job, and the shutdown will once again go over to General Zuliana, now 9-3-4.
This is like the same thing that happened like 9 minutes ago. They get like that one good fight, and then they do get a couple like small objectives, but now the gold lead is only about 8K. I mean, this is pretty much the exact same thing that happened that last extended team fight. But overall, I mean, this now Aurelia is starting to become a bit of a problem. With a team like this, it doesn't, nobody on the side of Iridescent can really build a Serpent's Fang, because it kind of muddles up with the build for anybody that does build it. Ideally, if you were going to put on anybody, you'd probably put it on like Aurelia or something, because she is the one that's just diving straight on in, and she is the one that kind of benefits the most from it. But looking at it, it's, well, now it's like a, what is that, like 8.5K gold lead. Now they're kind of like moving together. They're just moving as a unit. Like Syndra is the only one, or well, all of them can really. Syndra and Aurelia can play the side lanes. It's just like you don't want to play split up, because if any one of your members dies, it's doomed from there. Like you need like to have a 5-man unit and just look for straight up team fights as they start sieging that bot lane inhibitor tower.
All right, Inhibitor Tower is on the menu, and they are going to be able to get the spell shield away from General Zuliana. Oh, my lord. Huge damage on a General Zuliana. The Zap will be the one that completes that one. Double kill for Rapid Fire. Make it 3 kills for Dreadzone Gaming, as Cuz will take out Yarg. Hanzo going to try to go in, going to look to go for the explosive cast against Streamo, going to go for the Killer Instinct, going to be popped back into the fight. Raging Alcoholic going to be able to take one. Tanzo with the outplay against Dreamo. Oh no, the BM with the Land's Respite onto Rizel, who just stands there. The minions should finish the job, and Dreadzone Gaming gonna go for a very quick night here. Will win this series 2-0.
It's just like it was almost like the exact same like plays that completely threw the game off for Iridescent. They like B-Way goes super aggressive. He gets ganked like level 3. He goes for like Cuz goes for like the full clear top. He ganks top. Boom, dead. And it's just like, because Cuz is playing like these big kind of like these strong kind of carry junglers, you're not able to do too much because he's getting the kills, he's getting that money. So he kind of pushes the rest of that lead to the rest of his team. So it's like you really can't do much if you're Bennett because you're playing these champions that are very dependent and they need a lot of money in these isolated 1v1s. But when you're playing in fives, like the jungler is going to realize the pattern and they're going to immediately pounce on that pattern. And that's exactly what Dreadzone did for both these games.
Congratulations to them. A quick, easy 2-0 to round out their regular season. That will confirm their second seed spot here in the Shurima Division 1 game behind Mario Kart 7, who was, at the end of the day, able to take that series 2-1 in week 3. And unfortunately for Iridescent Blasters, this all but seals their fate. They're going to be holding hope out for Contingent Esports Blue to lose their series. We'll see if that potentially is going to be the case. But for now, their fate is in Contingent Esports Blue and Dorado Gaming Zeta's hands. We're going to take a quick break. When we return, we're going to get a post-game interview from one of the players here at Dreadzone Gaming. Styx. We'll be right back. Welcome back, everybody, to the Aegis Marauders League. We got the post-game interview, and I had to bring Fails on the stream. I got dealer's choice by the team, and we got to see the support player, the phenomenal two-game series, the support wonder. Fails, congratulations on the series win.
Thank you. It was good stuff about my old team. They all showed up today. They played well. So we were usually we're slow starters. We were worried about our first game, but once we got the first one out of the way, we were right, because I think right now we're about like six. We're in like another league too. We're about 6-1, I think, right now on in series wins where we lose a game one. So we've only lost one of those.
Gotcha.
But once we get the game one out of the way, we were feeling a lot better.
For sure. I love to hear it. Now, I really want to commend you for your phenomenal Thresh gameplay there. You had some incredible kills with the death sentences. You had that great save at the Baron Pit for that
by the Herald.
With the dark passage. I mean, there has to be a lot of prediction that comes in with being a good Thresh player. And is that just taught through repetition?
Yeah, I mean, I have a lot of time just playing the champ, I think, as well as I think my teammates probably seem like they're comfortable playing with the champ as well. I think that factored into it. So I just playing support how I play anything else, I guess, just doing the similar things. Yeah, I saw my jungler in that play. He had a bounty, and I wanted to try to save him. I ended up dying for it, but it was probably more worth in the end.
For sure. Banana, I got a question for Fails.
Yeah, so like obviously y'all are second seed. You've advanced into the playoffs. Pretty much the regular season's over. How does it feel? You finally locked in that seeding with how Aegis formats their playoffs. It's a 2-bracket 16 team total bracket. How do you think your team is going to fare through this the rest of these playoffs?
As long as we clean up our game ones too, especially, I think we're going to be doing pretty good. I mean, we had honestly fairly easy time in these groups. I didn't think the group was very, very hard. All of our games, besides for, like I said, our game ones have been like, after we lose like a game one, we usually just breeze 25-30 minute games every game. So but the only team that we've struggled against was the Mario Kart team. We ended up losing 2. But that was pretty much it. I think we'll see them again, or maybe one other good team from another group. But yeah, I think some of the groups looked a little weak too. I mean, like, I'm not gonna say ours was strong either. So I think like the top like 2 teams from each group are like the only teams to worry about. I think the other ones are what are.
Fair enough. I mean, that's a decent way to put it. I mean, you definitely showed that you have the power to make that happen. I've got 2 more questions for you, kind of more general questions moving into it. You kind of alluded to a potential rematch between Mario Kart 7 and some of those returning champions here in the AML. Do you think that you guys have made improvements? Do you think that you guys have adapted since that week 3 2-1 loss? And are you feeling confident or determined, or what are you feeling if it ends up being a Mario Kart 7 rematch to potentially make it into the finals or semifinals?
Oh, if we see them again, yeah, I'm a lot more confident. Our mid laner was having some internet issues, and he was playing on a very high ping. We didn't have any subs for him at the time. So he shouldn't have been playing that day, but we ended up sticking him on tank duty that day. He was playing Sion and Cassante mid every game.
No.
So we had we didn't really have like a game plan for that in a sense. So I think we'll be better off. We'll have a better champ pool, I think, around the next time we verse them. I think we'll be better. I think the other team, though, they may have underperformed a little bit too, but I think we're getting better as a team as well. So it'll be a cool one. Those guys are good guys. The Mario Kart people are pretty funny, so I would want to verse them again because I think they're actually like fun to play. Because a lot of the other teams aren't as fun. I get I don't know. I've kind of started falling asleep playing against some of these people. They just start feeding in lane or whatever and doing weird stuff. So those people, they do less troll stuff. So
fair enough. I mean, they are veterans of this level of play for a reason. And I guess the final question for you, Dreadzone Gaming, they have had their moments here in the AML, but at least as I've been casting it, it's been a struggle. It's not been necessarily the best outcomes for the team. And so we haven't gotten to see the opportunity for them to be grand champions yet, and really not had the opportunity to kind of highlight this organization that has been around for several years, several seasons. Kind of, touch light on your experience within the org.
Dread Zone, yeah. I'm not 100% sure how new they are, but like I know they have other teams around right now. They're in other leagues they're popping in, so they seem pretty cool. The mid laner on our team, he's the one who got me here. He set pretty much most of our team up. I think the ADC factored in a little bit too, but yeah, I mean, Dread Zone's been pretty cool. I think they have like their own like casting crew as well. You guys did a great job today. I saw them. They did a match for us once. They did a fantastic job. They have just the owner herself, Alyssa, her name is. She's done just a good job helping us out, finding scrims and managing everybody, and make sure everybody's in check, honestly, and make sure we're not messing up ourselves or doing anything stupid. I think they're pretty good.
Love to see it. Love to see it. Love to see it. Any final shout outs you want to give before we let you go?
Yeah, no, for sure. Just my team, good job. Dread Zone as well. I think they'll be sticking around there. They seem like they're a pretty good org. I don't like too many of the orgs I've played with as well, so I don't say that at least about them, but they look pretty good. Shout out to Akuma as well. I'm also playing on Akuma.
Love to see it. Love to see it. Well, hey, Fails, thank you so much for stopping by. Congratulations on the win, and best of luck in the playoffs.
All right, thank you. Have a good one, guys.
And with that being said, that's going to be the end of the regular season. Ben and Brett, any final thoughts, any final words of wisdom you want to give before we end the stream?
I definitely wish best of luck to all these teams jumping into these playoffs. I hope they hit the ground running with their first series. But overall, I mean, he's talking about, our game ones aren't that good. If anything was indicative of that game against Iridescent Dawn we just saw, they're going to be perfectly fine going through these playoffs. But otherwise, I mean, we're going to start seeing the best of the best. We're going to start seeing more competition. Is the rest of the bracket is the whole bracket best of 5, or is it just like best of 3 until like the semis or like the conference finals and then grand finals?
Believe so. I mean, let me pull up the old rulebook here to get that confirmed. Yeah, single elimination bracket, all matches best of 5. So that's a good segue into reminding everybody that next week we start the playoffs. You need to be here an hour earlier. 4 p.m. PST, 7 p.m. EST is the time that you need to be coming in to be here to start for these round of 16 playoffs. Going to be a fun couple of weeks of play to end out the winter split. I have loved it. Septi, hopefully we'll be back next week. Shout out to Wookie Monster, our producer, for saying, keeping everything calm and cool, collected behind the scenes. And with that, thank you very much for watching. We'll see you guys all next week for the playoffs. Have a great night.